Hello YouTube, so I'm back again here with Marie Exclusive 2, and today we are going to do primarily PvP stuff video here because I think Exclusive 2 is what enables her in PvP. You would not want to use Marie in PvP before Exclusive 2. Exclusive 2 is where she gets the defensive part of her kit that nullifies dot damage taken the first 2 turns, and after that it goes in a rotation where it's every 2, every 4, every 6 turn, right? So it can be very clutch, especially against some competitions in arena. And I'm going to show you today like how I am using her at the moment and in what kind of situation I would think in the future that she can be used in. Now let me just start off by saying I'm nowhere near as PvP minded as other people are in this game. Actually, most of my focus have always been on PvE part of the game, so I'm no expert, I'm no guru. I am actually most of the time pretty clueless about most PvP stuff going on, and I used to rely on very great people like Flary and other people doing videos or doing setups, but I've tried my best here to kind of make a team and showcase something for you guys that I think you can find interesting and that I think you can use going further on with your own like teams. Okay, so stats are pretty much the same as I show in my exclusive 1 video. You want some crit hit cap, you want crit damage, attack and some speed, you want echo, aura and all that stuff. For the aura, let me just quickly go over it. The best aura to use on her is definitely the versatility aura. She seems to scale very nicely with skill damage. I'm just going to say it here up front that the skill damage is very good for her for PvP and PvE damage wise, and obviously also defensive because the versatility aura here is giving her some skill damage reduction as well. And that is good against other direct damage dealers like Jingle Bell or some Wukong or Dokura and stuff like that her exclusive 2 is not working on. With that said, it's a very expensive aura. A Rune 11 is very expensive, very hard to get, can only get it from Hidden Waves faction or pay to win boxes, and so I've gone with a boss slayer because it's just easier and it's also very strong for her. So let's just jump into it here, guys. So the classic arena team that I'm using at the moment is actually this one. This is my defense, and I'm actually also using it as my offense at the moment as of right now, 22 of December, and it might change, but this is what I find works the best at the moment. I'm going to show you some examples in a minute. So as you can see here, the first thing you're probably noticing is that Erato is no longer in the team. There's actually no room for Erato in the classic arena meta at the moment after we gotten Marie, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute, but we'll see. Things can change very quickly, but this is the best team that I've found. I actually made a video yesterday in PvP here at Exclusive 2, but I wasn't satisfied with the results, so after having tested her for like 10 hours I think now in total, I've now come to the conclusion about where you can use her and what you can use her for. So this is the team that I'm going with, and let's just go and look in the we can see here against some of these guys here. But let's just do it live here actually, and I'll show you why Erato is no longer relevant. So hopefully now, hopefully this Kakarot is a very strong Bushido player here, and also a content creator from Russia. He's very strong. Let's see if we can beat this team here, or at least get close to beating it. This team is something I could never dream of beating before getting Marie, and let's just see how this works. So can we nullify the Erato here in his team? I think we can, but we'll see. The first 2 turns we should only be taking 1 damage. Only Sun Wukong in the enemy team and the Beatrix can do damage if they crit, and as you can see here, Sun Wukong is hitting my Sun Wukong. That's very good. Let's just see here. It's going to be a pretty long fight, I think. That is how the meta is at the moment. There are no quick fights actually at the moment here. Also something to consider here is that my Mooring Jing Echo is not leveled up. It's only 2 star. It can still get some more stars. There's so much Giselle actually died, so I'm probably going to lose this fight here. But I don't have a Echo level up on MJ. I don't have Sun Wukong Echo to protect me as well, and I'm missing a few echoes and stuff like that, right? So you can see here that I'm getting annihilated by this guy here. But let's just take a look at the damage done. You can see here that Erato didn't really do a lot of damage. Normally she would probably have cleaved me from the beginning of the battle, and as I said, Kakarot is a pretty good and strong player to show against. So let's pick a fight here where we can actually win it, and where I actually think I can win it at least. Obviously not going to go against the Stepan here, but let's just show some of those that I've actually won. Maybe against this guy here. Let's see what he used. Okay, so he used an Erato team as well, actually the same team I think as Kakarot here. Let me just double check it. Yeah, it is it's the same team. Yeah, he's just using another pet, and I'm going to show it this one here because this one I won, so let's just show it. It's against the same setup. This guy probably has worse stats than Kakarot had, and we're going to show you. I'm going to show you here why this works. It can work obviously if you are in a stat disadvantage or you are not tanky enough. It's not going to work, right? That makes sense. That is how this game works. And Kakarot is a pretty strong player. So let's see against this real twitchy guy here. He has YouTube in his name, so I think he's a content creator maybe. And we can see here that so far we've not taken any damage actually from either Giselle or Erato, and you can see here that I actually managed to stun them as well. And let's just see what actually happens in this fight here. As you can see, as I told you, it's a very long fight, so it's pretty boring to watch on manual obviously, but for this video we have to see like what is actually happening. It looks like the Giselle is on the enemy team is the one that is going to die first. And remember that this is only exclusive 2 on my Mary at the moment. If you have exclusive 3, she's going to start out with the piercing rate and the ability to cleanse herself from her echo, but you need the exclusive 3 to start off with the resonance enhancement status, which works on both her echo and her damage part here. Okay, you can see here that Muringjing got pretty low there. They do have a shield. The S2 on Mary is ignoring when she's in enhancement status, is also ignoring damage immunities and shielding. So that is another like good thing about her, getting her to exclusive 3. You can see here the fight is going on already at 66 turns here, and this is the meta at the moment. Here you saw my Muringjing actually kill someone, I think, and Giselle is going to kill them. As soon as the Muringjing died on the enemy team, that is when we did damage. But let's look at the damage done. You can clearly see here that Marie is stopping every damage from Erato and Muringjing, and it's actually only Giselle that did a little bit of damage from this guy here. So let's just take another example here to show you that it can win. Let's say against this guy. Let me see what he is using. Yeah, so he's using a weird team, no Erato here, that we don't want to showcase against that. Don't think I changed my defense there. Let's just see against maybe this guy. No, it's not good. Let's take another fight here in real time just to show just one more example to see what happens. Or maybe we should even, should we try and see what happens against the mirror fight? Is that too boring to watch? I'm going to show you here like that she's stopping the Lance from doing anything at the beginning of battle, and I'm just going to show you that Lance is totally dead now, at least in Classic Arena, and I'm going to talk about 3 versus 3 in just a minute here. You can see here that normally Lance's thing would be maybe killing someone on my team, or at least doing a lot of damage, right? Lance has no use anymore in PvP. There's another team down here with a Lance. So these teams here will just be farmable. They'll be very easy to kill for you if you have the Mary, because Lance cannot do any of the damage anymore. So let me just show you here. And obviously Giselle was also a counter to Lance because of the way it works. But yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna pause the video here and show you some 3 versus 3 things I think you can do. Alright, I'm back. So I actually made 3 teams here. This is probably some of the best teams that I can do on my account. Could also go with a Nordic and a Seal Panny combo for some CC, perma CC. That might also be very nice. Unfortunately, I don't have Tinkerbell exclusive 3. Otherwise, I would probably have used her as well in some of these teams here. But we can only have so and so many heroes, right? There are only place for 5 in each team. So this is how I would maybe try and do some teams, something like this. This is just like the idea that you get is that if you pair Marie with Lance and BJ, Then you are immune to CC, and you're also immune to the dot damage against a Giselle, which was one of the weaknesses of Lance, was the damage that he took from the beginning of the battle, right? And so that is something that is being nullified here. Now, you would not want to use her against the Jingle Bell because you can still get cleaved on your team. I'm not too sure about that Dokura actually. He might be able to do a lot of damage, and he's also going to do the Imprison on my Lance. So we'll have to see what actually happens here. It might not happen. There might not actually be anything happening here against this team here. So a more clever idea could be to change it around and just do like this instead. That might be better. And then have her do the Giselle counter down there, but it's not really what I want to try here. I want to test this one here to see what happens if Dokura is a counter to Marie here. Let's just see what happens here. Let's just check the Dokura here. Very fast, a bit strong, and you can see here that we're taking a lot of damage here. It's actually from, I think Lydia actually hit me, so Lydia is also a good answer to Marie. Let's just see what happens. We are, yeah, see the Dokura is also killing her. So you definitely need to play around with like your thinking about Marie, because she's making you immune to dot damage, but as you saw, you're still pretty vulnerable against any direct damage dealers like Lydia with great gear, a Dokura with great gear, Jingle Bell, another Mary obviously, and I think, yeah, I think those are one of the very strong direct damage dealers that can crit, or that has 100% crit rate, is those kind of heroes, right? If you look at the damage here, the Lydia just started out doing a lot of damage here, which procced the Erato. The Erato didn't really do a lot of damage, I think, from the beginning, but then the Dokura just killed someone. I think actually what happened was that Marie was the one dying first, and because the buff was on her, then once she's died or dead, then the rest of the team will take the dot damage from Erato. So that is what happened there. So definitely something to play around. But let's just test against another team here. If we can find someone with a, maybe this team here, I want to see against the zero boosted here. So he has a Giselle exclusive tree, and this is what I want to show you, how this can actually work here with this team, this kind of team here. Because normally the Lance would hit everyone here, and Giselle would proc and kill everyone. But I think against the Giselle exclusive tree, she will help Lance stay alive, and you might have a chance to do some great damage there. So let's just take a look at how it's going. I'm gonna go like that. The first two fights not that irrelevant. We just want to see like the third match. So it's not, you can see here Willa is super strong, actually killed the Jingle Bell in that cleave with her basic attack. That was kind of funny, I did not expect that. Against this one here, probably zero boosted has a stronger Erato than I have, because my Erato is actually not that strong, but we'll see what happens, right? Okay, so everyone's stunned here. Let's see, they got a Panda, they got a Moonjing, yeah, very strong. I probably need to work on that Erato setup there, because it doesn't seem that strong. It actually seemed pretty weak, especially considering. But this is what we want to see here. Let's just slow it down here. This is where you normally would die. From the beginning of the battle, you can see here that Giselle normally nukes people. She didn't do anything this time. So let's see what happens here. You're gonna see it. So this time you saw Lance and Marikis is actually surviving. You can clearly see here that Marie is stunned. The Panda comes in, he cleanses everyone. Let's just speed it up a bit here to see what happens here. We are still taking 1 damage only, but there the Sun Wukong is starting to hit my Mary. So you want to have some protection for Mary. So maybe she's not that great alone. Like, you want to have someone that can taunt or take the damage from her. You can see there she died, so now we're taking all the poison damage. So I think the most important thing here is actually making sure that Mary stays alive, because if Mary is once she's dead, the buff just goes away and you'll die like normally. So yeah, I think she definitely has some potential, but you also need to think about like how you are protecting her. So I think my first idea was that to split them up, like have Sun Wukong on one team, Moonjing on one team, and then have Mary on the last team would be that was my initial thought, but obviously we need to work on this one here, because it's that's one of her weaknesses, that once she's dead, then the buff just goes away, and yeah, and the rest of the team will die from dot damage. So gotta think about something where you can put her in a team where she's still protected, and you might even have to use her together with a Muringjing or Sun Wukong or someone that can protect her as well. So she might not be as good as a standalone character as I was expecting. But let's just do one last test here to see if she can do anything. Let's see against this guy here. He got no physical damage, or not direct damage, sorry, in this team down here and the bottom, so we should be able to beat that team. So we're just gonna go like this here, and we should beat the first two teams quite easily, and then we can take a look at the third team. And this is just a showcase to see, like, I'm sure, as I said, I'm not a PvP expert, so I'm sure you guys can find better teams or have better setups than what I'm thinking about here, for sure. Also, you can see here my team. I don't know why it's so weak. Normally Muringjing would definitely make me survive that one. I don't understand what's going on here in my Ratu team. I mean, Muringjing should have been healing there, but I'll have to fix that after the video here. It just looked a bit weird that she's taking so much damage. So here you can see this is what happens when you don't have a Marie in the team and you have a Giselle on the other team. Like Lance and Marikis is just melting. There's no chance for Lance or Marikis to kill a Giselle like that. Now this is what we want to see, guys. I'm just going to put it on 2. I think that's a nice speed to see. Here you can see Willa is not doing anything, and we're getting my Lance is getting his damage. Normally this is where the Giselle would have killed me. So the Popper actually does direct damage. Quite interesting to see here. When Popper died, he took half of my health on my squishy people, and that is something to consider as well. So every direct damage source is something you need to think about. And I think, does she not have the buff anymore? Because that Nita there, she did seem to do a lot of damage. Isn't Nita Nita is maybe not a complete poison damage. I'll actually have to look at Nita as well. Does Nita have any direct damage in her kit? It sure looked like it. Nita might be a strong one against Mary as well then. Okay, so let's see here if we can win. Giselle is dead, Nordic should be dying. And here we should be, yeah, we're taking a lot of damage actually. Taking a lot of damage, actually dying here against that Nita. So that Nita seems pretty strong, and obviously I cannot kill Nita now because she's immune to dot damage, and my 2 dot damage dealers are just gonna turn me the Venusa into infinity here, and I cannot win this match here. It is not possible. I just need to pause the video and see Nita's skill kit here, because she actually looked pretty strong. Yes, I'm back here. So Nita is actually 50% attack damage and 50% poison damage. And that is not great actually. That is not great for Marie at least. She's also immune to dot damage, all that kind of thing here. And what about this ability here? It's let me read it. Yeah, this one here also 100% attack damage to all enemies, and then extra attack damage, which is considered as poison damage. So the first part up here is also a direct damage. So it's quite interesting actually with Nita. She is doing some DD damage on both of her abilities, and also her basic attack is 280%, goes up to 340% attack damage. So that is also direct damage. So Nita actually pretty strong against Marie, because you cannot stop Nita from doing all of her damage. You can only stop like the poison part of it. And apparently that is only 50% of her damage. Obviously that is what nukes normally, but I'm just saying that she's not completely safe against Anita. So watch out for Anitas, especially strong ones. They will be able to cleave against your Marie. Alright guys, so I think it's up to you to decide what you think about Marie and what kind of team she'll use her in. Obviously we have 14 more days before she is away from the banner, and I'm probably going to keep an eye out for 3 vs 3 and 5 vs 5 teams the rest of the weeks here, to see what kind of funny meta teams people come up with. This was just a quick showcase of Exclusive 2 and PvP. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Cheers, bye.